I found out my boyfriend was cheating when his mistress showed up to our apartment to tell me he was dead. I want to start by saying I've never been one of those people who goes digging through their partner's phone or overanalyzes every text message. I trusted Adam. We lived together for nearly 3 years, and not once did I think he would betray me. We weren't perfect. Who is? But I truly thought he was my person. We made plans, talked about moving to a bigger apartment, maybe even getting a dog. His mom loved me. My sister always said we were sickeningly cute. We just worked. It was a Thursday, the kind where nothing seems important until everything is. I was working from home, headphones in, Zoom meetings dragging on. Adam had gone to work as usual. He was a construction manager, so he left early. The last text I got from him said, "Love you, see you tonight," with a heart emoji. That was at 6:13 a.m. I didn't think it'd be the last text I'd ever get from him. Around 3 p.m., I got a knock at the door. I assumed it was a package. I opened the door without really looking through the peephole first, which I still kick myself over, because that moment is seared into my brain. A woman was standing there. Late 20s, brunette, wearing an oversized hoodie and clutching her purse like it was a lifeline. Her eyes were red. She looked wrecked. "Hi, are you, Riley?" she asked, voice trembling. "Yeah, can I help you?" I said, blinking at her. Then she dropped the bomb. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know he lived with someone. I'm Angela, Adam's girlfriend, or, I guess, was. He's dead." My first reaction wasn't sadness. It was confusion, shock, disbelief. I thought it was a prank. I actually laughed. "Wait, what are you talking about? Adam's my boyfriend." She looked like someone had punched her in the stomach. Her lips trembled, and then she pulled out her phone. "He was with me. He was driving home from my place this morning. He got into an accident. He didn't make it." I stood there like a statue as she showed me a news article on her phone. "Fatal single car accident. Route 22. Driver confirmed dead on the scene. No other cars involved." The photo showed his wrecked blue Toyota. I recognized it instantly. That's how I found out my boyfriend was dead. And cheating on me. Angela came inside. I don't even remember inviting her in. I just sort of floated backward, and she followed. We sat on the couch, across from each other, like strangers trying to make sense of a shared dream. She told me everything. They'd been seeing each other for 6 months. They met at some sports bar near his work. He told her he was single. They'd been talking about going on a trip together. She said she thought he might propose soon. I felt like I was drowning in her words. Every time she revealed something new, it was like I couldn't breathe. Adam, my Adam, was living a double life. The weekend he said he had a work conference. He was with her in upstate New York. The night he said he had to work late, he was at her apartment, watching Netflix. Every lie fell into place like a puzzle that had been right in front of me the whole time. And Angela wasn't cruel. She was devastated. She kept apologizing, kept saying she never knew. She showed me texts, photos, even a video of him singing drunken karaoke at her friend's birthday. I recognized the shirt he wore in the video. I'd bought it for him. We sat there for hours. I cried. She cried. At one point, we just sat in silence. The apartment suddenly felt haunted. I kept expecting Adam to walk through the door, laughing and saying it was all some big mistake. But he didn't. He never would again. The funeral arrangements were already underway. His mother called me the next morning. I didn't mention Angela. I didn't have the strength to explain anything yet. She was crying, broken. She asked if I'd come help sort his things next week. Angela and I exchanged numbers before she left. I hated her, but I didn't. She was betrayed, too. We were both victims. That was the strangest part of it all. How bonded I felt to the woman I should have resented. Over the next few days, I tried to process it all. I went through our photos, our texts. I found receipts in his drawers, ones that didn't match anything we'd done together. I realized he had a whole separate drawer of clothes she'd bought for him. I felt violated, like someone had robbed me of my life and replaced it with a hollowed-out version. Then I found the notebook. Stuffed behind some old documents in the back of the closet, it was small, leather-bound, and filled with Adam's handwriting. Inside were pages of journal entries, raw, unfiltered thoughts. And the more I read, the sicker I felt. He talked about loving both of us. About feeling trapped. About wishing he could just start over. About dreams of disappearing. And the last entry? It was dated the night before he died. It said, "I don't know how much longer I can live like this. One lie away from losing everything. I'm in love with 2 women, but I think I'm killing them both." That sentence broke me. The funeral was surreal. I stood next to his mother, held her hand, hugged his coworkers, nodded at strangers who knew a different version of the man I loved. Angela was there, too, but in the back, silent, head bowed. We didn't speak that day. It was in the aftermath, as people started leaving, that it all came to a head. Adam's mom asked me to go through his phone, which the police had returned. She said she couldn't bear to see his final texts. I didn't want to, but I agreed. The phone was cracked but functional. I opened it, and the first thing I saw was a string of messages. 2 threads. One to me, one to Angela, sent minutes apart. Both said the same thing. "I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. I love you. Goodbye." That's when it hit me. The accident wasn't random. It wasn't just poor visibility or bad luck. Adam hadn't just died. He'd taken his own life. I confronted Angela. I told her what I found. She started sobbing so hard I thought she'd collapse. She said he'd called her that morning, crying. Told her he didn't know who he was anymore. That he felt like a monster. I told him to just come clean, she whispered. I told him it wasn't too late. But it was. The weeks that followed felt like limbo. I'd lost the man I loved, but he wasn't the man I thought he was. I was grieving and furious and hollow all at once. I couldn't even open our bedroom door for days. Angela and I talked. Not every day, but sometimes. We met for coffee once, just to sit in silence. She said she didn't feel like she had the right to mourn him. I said I didn't know who I was mourning. We laughed, darkly, about the irony. 2 women, 1 lie, 1 death. I started therapy. I had to. The betrayal was too layered, too deep. My therapist said something that stuck with me. You're allowed to grieve the version of him you knew. Even if he wasn't real. That gave me permission to cry. To scream into pillows. To delete his number. To keep his hoodie, even though it smelled like him. Grief doesn't follow logic. Neither does love. I took time off work. I deleted social media. I started journaling. I got a dog. One Adam and I talked about getting a rescue. Her name's Molly. She's small, scrappy, and needy in the best way. And I started writing letters to Adam. Not to forgive him, but to let it out. Page after page of rage and sadness and confusion. Angela moved away. We didn't say goodbye. We didn't need to. Some connections aren't meant to last, even if they feel profound. It's been a year now. A full year since that knock at the door changed my life. I still flinch when the doorbell rings unexpectedly. I still hesitate when I hear his name on TV. But I'm healing. I moved to a new apartment, smaller, quieter, just mine. I painted the walls blue, a color Adam hated. I got new furniture. I made it mine. Sometimes, I still dream about him. But in the dreams, he's always distant. Blurry. Like even my subconscious knows he's not whole. I'm dating again. Slowly. Carefully. It's hard to trust. Hard to believe in words like, forever, or, only. But I'm trying. I shared my story online a few months ago, anonymously. The responses were overwhelming. So many women, so many lies, so much pain hidden beneath smiles. It reminded me I wasn't alone. And maybe that's the lesson in all this. Not closure, because I'll never get that. But connection, survival, rebuilding. Adam was many things. He was funny, charismatic, loving, and also, a liar. A coward. A man who didn't know how to untangle his web, so he chose to burn it down. I've stopped trying to define him. Or us. I'm writing my own story now. And it starts with the truth. I was betrayed. I was broken. But I'm still here. Still standing. Still healing. And maybe I'm even stronger for it. Because when everything shattered, I didn't disappear with it. I picked up the pieces. Not all of them fit the same way anymore. Some are jagged, some are missing, but I carry them with me, as proof that I lived, I hurt, I loved. There are days I smile without guilt now. Days when I sing in the shower again. Days I look at Molly sleeping in her bed and realize she saved me more than I saved her. And there are days when I forget, just for a moment, that I was ever the girl who opened the door to the worst day of her life. Those moments? They give me hope. To anyone who has felt shattered, discarded, deceived, you are not alone. And you are not weak for loving someone who didn't deserve you. You're not foolish for believing the lies. You were human, and being human means sometimes we break. But we also rebuild. So here I am, still breathing, still writing, still choosing me. Thank you for listening to my story, for holding space for my pain. If it touched you, if it helped you feel seen, know that your story matters too. Maybe we can all be a little more honest, a little more kind. And maybe we can all learn to knock on our own doors and say, I'm still here. And I'm not done yet. Because the truth isn't always easy. But it's always better than the prettiest lie. If you've made it this far, thank you. For listening, for feeling this with me. For holding space for a story that was never easy to tell. If this resonated with you, if you've ever loved someone who hurt you, or found yourself rebuilding after betrayal, please let me know in the comments. I read every one. You're not alone. Tap that like button. It helps more people find these stories, and it lets me know they matter. And if you want more real, raw, emotional narratives like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I've got more stories to share, and maybe one of them will help you feel seen, too. From my heart to yours, thank you for being here. We survive together. We heal together. Until next time.